Hello, welcome back to the Digital Foyer. I'm Matt Vaughn, the Senior Communications Coordinator here at St. Benedict Parish. And I'm joined by Tanya LeRue. Tanya, what's your job title again?
My job title just changed somewhat recently. I'm the Connections and Service Pastoral Director.
Okay, there we go.
Which is a whole mouthful of words.
If you had to guess, how many times has your job title changed since you started here?
I want to say 4, possibly 5, actually. Yeah, I think it's actually 5.
Well, mine changed once, so you got me.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe twice. That's okay. That's not what we're here about today.
That's right.
We're in the middle of the series, Tanya, right now,
Yes.
called Serve Like Jesus.
Yes.
Now, we did Serve Like Jesus last year. Why are we?
Yes, we did.
Why are we doing it again?
Yeah, it's great because we actually did do the same series, although slightly different.
We'll talk about different things, surely.
Talk about different things,
Yeah.
but serving like Jesus, nobody served better than Jesus did. So, so he's our model, he's our example, and serving is actually what we're called to do as disciples of Jesus. So we talk about this in some way, shape, or form every year. Typically in the fall, when ministry seasons get ramped up in church world, and it's a great. I'm really excited about it because I think we're going to be able to engage lots of people in serving, which means lots of people are going to get into our game plan, which means lots of people are becoming disciples. So it's fun.
So one of the things we talk about here at the parish is that we don't want to just have people who are serving just to fill holes, right?
Right,
This is not the weekend where we come out and we go, okay, we need 18 altar servers, so get out there, and even if you hate it, do it because God told you to.
Right.
So what
Yes,
is the
absolutely.
healthy perspective on serving in the parish that we try to have?
I have served in a church that way.
Sure. I mean, we kind of all have before.
Yeah.
And that also to be said that there's certain times where it's kind of like, hey, we got to make.
Hey, we do have to make certain things happen. Absolutely,
yes, exactly.
We do, and we have gaps for sure in some of our ministries, but that's actually not why we're doing this.
Tell us about it.
So serving is really bringing our gifts that God has given to us into service, and service in ways that He's actually calling us into. So this is more about people than it is about serving our church. So when we serve, I really feel strongly that it changes us. It changes our hearts, and it actually brings us closer to the heart of Jesus when we serve.
Right, absolutely. So there is, so many different ways you can serve.
Oh.
I think that's maybe one of the things we want to get across to people is just that there are so many different kinds of gifts. Like if you're somebody who's like a high-powered accountant, we have places they could serve all sorts of things. It would be finance counselor,
for sure,
or maybe they're a high-powered accountant, but they also want to garden. Right? We have a gardening ministry. We have all sorts of things they can do there for sure. I don't know. I talked to you about different serving roles here. Are there any that come to mind as examples for people of things that we have here?
Oh my gosh, we've got all kinds, like liturgical ministries.
You could be a Eucharist minister or something like that.
Absolutely. Like what you see that happens here on a Sunday, it takes a lot of people to do those things. And maybe you're really passionate about the Mass and the Eucharist, and that would be one great way of serving.
There's outreach ministries.
Outreach, my goodness. That's just expanded so much over the last several years here with SBP Cares, but we also have Care and Companionship Ministry that's restarting since COVID.
Right.
We have our St. Vincent de Paul ministry that operates out of here as well, and so there's so many needs in our community for people to be able to serve and go out as well.
Right. Now, Tanya, I got to ask, so you're obviously on staff here now.
Yes.
But do you remember the first ministry you served in here at the parish?
Way back in the day.
Way back in the day.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago.
It was fairly recently.
That's right. So I was actually a nurse at the time, and so it made sense for me to start as an emergency first responder in that ministry. We currently don't have that ministry going, but it was an easy way to start serving here in the church. Yeah. And then it's funny because then people, as I got to know people, we would be having these conversations, and people would say, wow, I see this in you, and you should try this, and you should serve in this way. And so there's been things like the Welcome Center and Alpha in many ways, and even, this is crazy, youth ministry, which I never thought. I had the best time serving as a leader in youth ministry. So there were so many different ways and so many things I moved through. before being on staff here.
Yeah.
So what about you, Matt? How did you?
Great point.
Yeah.
So I remember the first ministry I was involved in was a slide operator at Mass, actually.
Oh.
And I started doing that, and probably a month into doing that, it was after Mass one week. I think it was with my wife. It was before we had any kids. And Father James Mallon, our former pastor, was like, hey, when are you going to get, pick up an oar and start getting involved here at the parish? And I was like, actually, I already am. You just can't see me doing it.
That's right.
and I think my wife was actually doing the emergency first responders as well at the time. So, but I really appreciate what you're saying too. With it's sometimes the first thing that we think about in serving might be the most obvious thing to us at the time. Then as you start getting involved with the parish and see other people and meet people, and people get to know you and care about you, like they do with life groups. I think that can all happen. It's all community based, right? People can see different things in you, and not because they're like, who can fill a hole with Tanya, but they can be like, Tanya's got gifts in this area, and we can share and do that. So, we want to be thinking all about different ways that we can serve here at the parish. We want to serve like Jesus. I love that. You talk about Jesus, that he's the Lamb of God. He's the goat of service, the greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time.
I thought about that earlier. I was like,
wow.
I think I have to say that.
You had to.
I'm sorry, folks. Thank you for joining us, though, and let's get ready to serve like Jesus.